friends, it's Julia. I'm here to share a layout that I created using my September 2020 Counterfeit Kit Challenge Kit. Now, the layout itself was inspired by a project that I saw over on the Felicity Jane blog, and it was by Sherry Forcier, and the date was October 11th, 2019. And so I just kind of mimicked, if you will, I lifted her project. I can't remember if it was a layout or a traveler's notebook or pocket page card layout. I don't know. But head over there and see if you're interested. But this was my take on what she created. And I do that sometimes. I will see a traveler's notebook page and decide, oh, I can make that into a 12 by 12 layout, or a pocket page card layout that I'm like, well, I can make that into a 12 by 12 scrapbook layout. And so I do that. Here, it's a pretty simple layout. I took some washi tape, I added it to a piece of leftover scrap cardstock, and I'm putting it across the bottom there, and then I'm going to add a border strip that I cut from a piece of paper along the bottom as well. I'm going to cover up just a little bit of that washi tape, and of course I don't get it straight, so I'm going to have to peel it back up. That happens to me quite a bit. If you're looking for inspiration, I really would encourage you to go over to the Felicity Jane blog. They have tons and tons of project inspiration over there. And that's where this inspiration came from, obviously. I am down to the bottom of my kit, and so as I've been doing this, I've been trying to create some page kits in order to inspire me to finish it up. Not that I'm not inspired by the papers to finish it up, but in order to pre-plan and make it easier when I come home from work to get some of these layouts done. I work full-time Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and some days I come home and I am completely exhausted and I cannot even focus on anything, let alone scrapbooking. And so if I have something already put together and kind of laid out how I want it, then it's much, much easier to get everything on a page. And so that's kind of what I've done here. I've matched up papers and embellishments and everything and laid them on in a stack and then put them into a little container so that when I'm ready, all I have to do is come in and basically glue a lot of it down. So anywho, I made a tag, if you will, out of a scrap piece of paper. I went through and I placed everything like I wanted it. I split that tag because it wasn't quite long enough for what I wanted on the back, as well as this one. The one out of the scrap green paper is fine. I don't have to split it at all. And so all three of those are going to go behind the photos. And this isn't, for me, it's not an exact science on lining things up always. Sometimes I get a little neurotic and get my ruler out and just can't stop measuring. But like today, I'm just trying to be a little bit more free-handed with it, if you will. Even though I'm lining it up with the ruler, really and truly the ruler is to keep the top and the bottom straight, not necessarily to measure it out on the page. And I'm just trying to make sure that I have enough on either side to where my photo overlaps just a tiny bit, because I want to make sure that those divided pieces are not showing. And so the photo will lay right over the top of those divided pieces. And I want to have the same amount of clearance on either side. And I've punched holes already in those papers that I'm going to use as tags. And then I don't end up, I was going to thread through the twine that I had added into my kit, and then I changed my mind. And I went hunting through my black ribbons, and I found a couple little scraps of ribbon that I created some bows, to go along the tops of those. But I'm going to have a good time before I do that in figuring out what else I'm going to have down here. I had pulled out a couple of tags and then a label sticker to go along the bottom. And then, I have left myself some room to embellish as well. The title is Grandparents' Day, and that was at our grandson Merritt's school last year. Grandparents were invited to come and have lunch with the kiddos. So we did. My husband and I went, and my husband and Merritt have such a beautiful time together. Merritt is one of those kids who, he loves to joke around and have a good time. And so that's what he's doing here. When it was time to take photos for us, when I pulled the camera out and said, okay, let's take some pictures of us being here, he's like, okay. And so immediately his hand went up behind my husband's head, and him not knowing that my husband's hand went up behind his head to give him rabbit ears. So it turned out the cutest thing ever. And then they both realized about the same time that they were given bunny ears, and it was so cute. Anywho, that first tag there is a piece from the ephemera pack that came with the Shea collection. That is a label sticker from one of my Freckled Fawn label stickers that I added in. And then finally, I will put another little tag shape there, or label shape there, that came from an older Felicity Jane stash. And so I'm just looking through to see if there's anything else that I'm going to use. Now, I do have that pocket page card right there on top, and I think I'm going to use that where it says enjoy today. And so I just cut that down to use that sentiment. And I think that's one of the things that I like most about the pocket page cards, is if they have a sentiment that I want to use, I don't feel bad about cutting them down at all. It's better to use a bit or a piece of it rather than not use it at all. So that's going to go, it's going to flow along with that theme of going right down the center of the page. And so I'm going to end up putting it up at the top. And so I tuck it right back behind that tag just a little bit. And like I said, nothing's measured. It's all kind of, I say that and then I pull out my ruler. I just want to make sure that I have it just a little bit below, evenly below the top of the page. So I'm really liking how this looks. That floral paper, not floral paper, the leaf paper on the right side behind the photo is one that I have purchased just for fussy cutting, and I have fussy cut so much of that and added it to so many layouts. I just love that paper. It has been so versatile and so user friendly across so many different layouts. Here's where I'm going through my leftover ribbons. I love in rearranging my room. I have found older stash, and I'm using a lot of product that I haven't used in a while because I'm finding it. Don't you love that? I hope in doing this layout with you guys here, I hope that I'm inspiring you to get into your stash and to create layouts or cards or whatever craft you decide using your stash. I know we all get into this hobby really to create things, but in the process of creating, we tend to buy tons of stuff or are given tons of stuff. And, I know we want to use it. At least I know I do. I want to use all of it. Everything that's in my scrapbook room, I want to use. I've kept it for the very purpose of using. If I get something in and I don't like it, it almost immediately goes back out. I give it to a friend. I give it to my sister. I give it to my granddaughter's teacher for craft day. I find a use for it in giving it away. But like here, those bits and pieces of ribbon that have been in my stash forever, and I haven't found a purpose for them, but I didn't want to get rid of them because I really love the patterns on them and I really like the ribbon. And so I'm glad to have found purpose in keeping that supply. So anyway, I'm getting close to the end. I'll finish it up here in just a few minutes, but I want you guys to make sure, stick around if you're interested to see the close-ups at the end of the video. And if you like the video, I would love it if you would give me a thumbs up. If you are interested in seeing more layouts created from older stash, please feel free to subscribe. I love to share what I use in my scrap stash kits every month. Anyway, guys, I will see you on the next video. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye. Don't forget, stick around for the close-ups.